Segun Johnson is here with us. How are you doing? You saw how heated the last segment was, and
I was just feeling like,
but it's what a lot of people are feeling. But the one sector that a lot of people think is immune from all of this is entertainment. You people are making all the money, especially you guys in the music side of things. Is that a valid way of speaking about music in Nigeria today? Because we see every day people are buying Lamborghinis, buying Ferraris and all of that, while the rest of the country seems to be.
honestly, I was telling a friend of mine that entertainers are to an extent the luckiest people presently in Nigeria. And I told him, I said, my guy, the people will get luck pass for this country, and now people will government will get hand
For their
for their
work.
industry. To be honest, because some of us that have been opportune to step outside this country, we know that when we talk about Nigeria, the first thing they say is, oh, do you know whiskey? Do you know Burna Boy? So how come the only thing they resonate with is entertainment? So some of us are really lucky that, we're in the entertainment industry, and we can, to an extent, boast that, yes, at least, like that guy, one of your rent house, we will still feel rent house.
Anyway, I mean, I've always wondered how we can replicate that with other sectors, because it feels like what you're saying is because it's independent of government, and the distribution of music has bbeen democratized now.
Honestly.
There's streaming platforms. There's even TikTok now that you
Yes.
release song, it goes viral somewhere. I've always wondered how can we translate that to other sectors, where people can be independent of. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if you have any insights on this, but it's just something I think about a lot.
Honestly, I don't want to sound too religious.
Yeah.
But when the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? Yes, we're lucky in the entertainment industry, but other sectors are going through a lot. And if we try to find a way to make them enjoy the same thing we're going through, it's a very long journey. I think the most important thing is for us to put things right when it comes to governance, so that entertainers won't be the only people that can confidently come on air and say, yes, we're doing well, so that a shoemaker can say the same thing.
Yeah.
A banker should be able to say the same thing. A fashion designer should be able to come out boldly and say, I'm buying a Lamborghini, not just a regular lady on TikTok that thinks.
No comment.
Yeah, but really. But we hope that Nigeria will be better,
Yeah.
so that very soon every sector can boastfully do something worthwhile with their lives.
Let's come to you now. Let's leave Nigeria's problem, because the problem already finished. When did what sparked your interest in music? When did this happen?
Okay, so I've always been a drummer. So growing up,
Did you start from church?
Yes. So every musician usually have a story, man. I've been singing since when I was in my mother's womb. But mine wasn't like that. But I started playing drums in the local church. After playing drums,
Where was that?
Back in my local area.
Okay.
But it's now international. Okera in Ogba.
Ogba to the world.
Ogba to the world. So that was where I grew up. And, growing up, I was playing drums, playing the piano, playing the drum sets, doing a lot of instrumentation in church. Then that metamorphosed into me singing and then hyping and entertaining people generally.
You took things differently, though, to the live band, side of things. For a long time, live bands, I mean, they've always been a huge part of Nigerian parties and entertainment and, winding down. But you sort of branded it in a way where you are a personality in that space, Why did you decide the live band route was the way to go? Did you ever try to be a performing artist on your own? Do your thing without... How did that transition happen?
Okay, so what really happened was that as a drummer, back then, while I was growing up, I was playing for several churches and several artists. So that exposed me to the live band industry and to the event industry. And the way life is, most times you want to make sure that you pitch your tents around your area of expertise. So basically, I realized that I am more exposed to the event industry. So I decided to build a brand around live band and event industry. And when I wanted to start the live band music, I remembered back then that there was a conventionality in the industry, especially the Yoruba Owambe party. If you invite a Yoruba live band, you can confidently tell people what they will sing. Now, I have nothing against that, because we have so many fantastic live bands, but I just wanted to do things differently, because I felt like, well, if I can't do it differently, then I won't do it at all. Yeah, so that was what encouraged me to...
When did you now start full on
Yeah, I started 8 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 years ago. And when I started, it was so obvious that people can only dance to what they're familiar with. So I couldn't start by telling them, show fine, gone, show talent. I couldn't do that. So I would do the regular live band thing for a few minutes. Then I would chip in some of my styles and songs and hype lines. So over the years, they were getting used to my brand. And we thank God for where we are today.
Yeah. How do you keep things fresh, though? Because you said there right now about how, things you can kind of predict.
Yeah.
If it's a wedding, you know the kind of songs that will come.
Definitely.
If it's a birthday party, you kind of know. How then do you keep things fresh? Because Lagosians, Nigerians as a whole, but Lagosians in particular, go to an event at least once a month.
Yes, they do.
So the opportunity or the chances of running into a Segun Johnson band is very high.
Yes.
So if I watch you at a wedding today,
yeah,
and I come in April and see you again, how do you keep it fresh for your audience and different?
So some of the people that I have been opportune to perform at their events, they usually accuse me every 2, 3, or 4 months. They usually say, Segun, you did not do this song in my own wedding. So I'm actually very intentional with moving with the trend and also creating trend. Because whether we like it or not, the human attention these days is very, very short.
Yep.
Even online, people scroll this way. They hardly spend 30 seconds on people's posts. So what I do is every month, it's a space of 2 months to each other, I'm creating new songs, new hype lines that is trendy, and it also relates with people and what is happening presently. I did something last month and I said Ganusi because the word Ganusi was trending. All right, so I did something in February, and it's always like that every month, just to meet up with the trend.
Was there breakthrough moments that you think things changed for you? Was there an event or was there a moment that happened?
Yeah, so I've actually experienced a lot of moments in my journey. If anyone says that they are where they are because of themselves, that's a big lie. By God's will, I've been opportune to perform at certain events with certain people. Can I mention some names? Am I permitted?
Please,
because I really owe them a lot. If you hear K to the I to the E, Kiki, Kiki, baby, Kiki. Yeah, so Kiki is my person. I remember meeting Kiki at an event and I performed and she came, we danced and it went viral.
You've been seeing her on the screen actually.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So aside from Kiki, that's Kiki. So aside from Kiki, I've got Tomike. Aside from Tomike Adeoye, I've got Macaroni, I've got Remote, I've got Kenny Black, but I've got a lot of people that I can attribute my journey to. And I'm looking forward to doing that with Ebuka too. Ebuka, Okinsheka. Ebuka, Okinsheka.
There was a time when, you went to a high-profile event and you would have all of the A-list artists performing. It still happens,
yeah, it does.
But it's no longer as it used to be. I mean, they say artists don't cost now. People are charging in dollars with plenty zeros at the end. And it looks like the live band industry has benefited a lot from that. Maybe I'm making this comment, but also asking it as a question. So I guess my question is, have you noticed a shift in sort of how often you are now booked, how much you now charge? Because I go to more events now where I don't see anybody performing, but there's a great live band there because these guys they have gone abroad.
Honestly.
So would you notice a shift recently? When did that happen?
I noticed sometimes last year, November.
Yeah.
Yes, I noticed a shift, especially when most of our big names were charging in dollars. So when that happened, a lot of people they depended on live bands generally, especially the live bands that have built their brands on versatility.
Yeah.
Some live bands, they have 5 to 6 singers, and then this singer will sing hip hop, this one will sing Yoruba, this one will sing Igbo. So that shift happened. Then when it happened, what we had to do is, in every economy, there is always a time you as a vendor, you need to understand and study the markets. You don't need to bring down your price because that would diminish your brand, but you need to regulate yourself and speak to certain event practitioners on, you can call your party planners, event planners, and say, this is what is happening, but I can charge this, I can give you these discounts. However, you must not abuse your brand because of a reduction in the price you charge. Yeah.
What are some controversial moments you've had? Because social media has built your profile.
Yes.
There was a hush pop incident, I remember one time. And it's something that live bands generally are accused of.
Yes.
I mean, when you're on that stage, do you get to judge who is in the audience, knowing maybe whatever their means of income is? Does that ever happen to you? And let's talk about the hush puppy thing first,
okay,
and how that played out for you, and then talk about what happens when you see people in the audience. Sometimes it's questionable. You're like, this one, I don't know. But you know you're going to get sprayed anyways. Do you not care?
Okay, so, let me say this. When I see people in the audience, whether the person is a pastor or an imam, whether the person has made money from the east or from the west, I just want to entertain. And when the person feels they want to appreciate me, well, I will just accept it regardless. So, the Hush Puppy thing, Hush Puppy wasn't at that party, obviously. There is no way it can be at that party. But if I'm your very, very close friend, and I'm in a party, and I want people to know that you are my friend, I can easily whisper to the musician and say, Sope Segun eyan ebuka to taleno. So when I do that, and he starts singing, and I say, Segun eyan ebuka, everyone will know that, oh, Ebuka is not here, but his friend is here. So that was what happened with Hush Puppy. He's a human being eventually, and he has friends before everything happened to him. So one of his friends, beautiful lady, she just wanted to, let people know that whatever Hush Puppy is going through, he's still my friend. So she came to appreciate me with the name Hush Puppy. So he wasn't present at the party, but she just came to appreciate me and let people know that, yeah, he's still my friend, regardless of whatever he's going through.
Do you think live bands have a responsibility to sort of be accountable for things like that? Because, like you said, we go to parties, we hear hailing people. Sometimes they write names or they go around and collect names, and all of that. It's a part of our culture, and we love it. But do you think there's a responsibility on live bands to sort of sieve?
Okay, so
who rightfully deserves to be praised sung or not? Is that responsibility on live bands?
Yes, it is. It is. And most live bands usually get distracted. They get distracted by the richest people in the party. If I'm singing and a big name steps into the party, and I know this person is a billionaire, I can easily get distracted. So that is what most live bands need to check, and that is where they need to be responsible to the clients or the celebrants. Regardless of whoever steps into that party, the celebrant is your priority. You must entertain the celebrants, their immediate family, the party guests first before being distracted. As a matter of fact, no matter the amount of money anyone wants to give any live band, I believe their focus should be on the clients and the person getting married or celebrating a birthday or whoever the client is, as the case may be. So all live bands should be mindful of distracting the entire party by focusing on the richest person that is giving them money. It is usually unfair, honestly.
Are there people you won't sing about? Yahoo boys.
Okay, I think whoever people are, they are not those people when they are in front of me, to be honest. If a Yahoo boy is a Yahoo boy, he's a Yahoo boy outside the party. If he's inside the party, he's just a jolly good fellow that wants to celebrate. I guess sense of it. But for real, whoever they are those people outside the event hall.
Interesting. What about politicians? Do you get caught in the middle sometimes?
Yes, I get caught in the middle. In fact, I faced one a few months ago. I was at the party, and there was a politician in that party. I think presently he's being thrilled by the Economic and Financial Crime Commission. So someone came to me and said, let me use the name Agbabiaka, just for example. Segun Johnson, Uyabamiki Agbabiaka. As I was about to mention his name, the groom just quickly came to me. He said, Segun, it's a setup. Don't do that. Meaning that this man is under investigation. If you call his name, he might be tempted. Maybe someone is just recording in the party and they just want an evidence against him. So most times when I'm singing at events, I'm usually sensitive to who is the right person to call, who is not to call, especially when there are rival political parties. I remember a client told me, Segun, don't mention anything about politics in my party. And that was because the father is from a political party, then their in-laws, they are from another political party. He said, Segun, please, this is not a rally. Let's just do this party and go home in peace.
That's very interesting. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Do you ever plan on dropping albums Are those things in your plans?
Yeah, so I have a couple of songs, a number of songs on several paid platforms.
Yes.
So I'll be dropping an album later this year. I just want to make sure it is properly.
What genre are you looking at?
Yeah, I do Afro.
High life, Fuji.
High life, Afro Juju. My brand is based on versatility, but people resonate more with the hype lines. You know, something I said a few minutes ago, like Ebukati Okinsheka, Ebukati Okinsheka, original Odogu, Odogu Panana. You could give me money, banana, things like that. So I will infuse that into lots of my songs.
I don't have money to spray you. Unfortunately. But I don't think we ever ask this for live bands. What are the challenges live bands face? Because you guys make everybody happy. Nobody ever really asks this, what the challenges are. Okay,
so the first thing we face as the live band is most people usually look forward to live bands coming to sing during the party, not knowing that we face a lot of challenges in terms of logistics. We need to make sure that our equipment are set up a day before the events. When the celebrant is even just sleeping in his or her house, we are running the setup. Aside from that, one of the major challenges we're facing right now, but most professional live bands have actually managed it well, is the EFCC challenge when it comes to spraying of Naira. It's a crime, whether we like it or not. And ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
Yeah.
So most live bands have been incapacitated because they don't know how to make money again. But, you know, week in, week out, we've been able to derive a means to educate people and our clients that don't throw money in the air. If you want to appreciate us, be honorable with it. Just drop it in the bag or something. Aside from logistics, aside from this Naira issue, another challenge we face as the live band is we know that there are several people in the party. There are Igbos, there are Yoruba, there are Hausas, there are Christians, there are Muslims. So as a live band, that technicality and your ability to improvise and think on your feet is one of the psychological challenges we face. We want to make sure we sing and entertain everybody at the same time.
Yeah. On a final note now, I know you did talk about being the son of being a bread seller. Growing up.
Yeah, Segun bready.
Yeah, starting from there to where you are now.
Yeah.
Looking at how you went from that to who you are today, and your family's sort of reaction to what you have become. What sort of emotions do you feel?
To be honest, if I knew I would be here today, I probably would have done a lot of things differently. And why did I say that? I have a very, very nuclear family. Like a very, very nuclear family. And while growing up, of course, humble beginning as it's supposed to be, but the journey actually taught me one of the greatest lessons of my life, which is tenacity, consistency, and a strong belief in God. So if I can look back at my humble beginning and where I am today, I can only attribute it to God. Because God is the reason why I'm on channels and Rubbin'minds with Ebuka.
On that note, thank you very much, Segun Johnson. You can check him out at an event near you.
At every event near you.
Thank you so much, and please keep making people happy and making people smile and dance because the country needs it.
Yes,
we always need that escape, and we love what you do. Thanks a lot for being here today.
Yes,